advertising. I do know.
Yeah. So
I should do more than I do, but fortunately, I make at least a living without having to beg people to come here. I'll pay people to come here.
So I think we should start. We are live online, and
okay. Well, let me.
Would you like us to show through all the chocolates and a small tour of your shop?
You've done this before. You do whatever you think is
best.
best.
So let me just let me introduce Jack really quick.
Okay.
So here we are today, live in San Francisco's Noe Valley, inside the store, chocolate covered, and we're chatting with Jack Epstein, the owner and founder of the store. Been a chocolate retailer in the local area for a while. When did you get started on
I
this?
started this in 1994 in a small basement store 1 block to the right. And I managed to survive. I called it gestate in the store for 2.5 years in the basement. And I was fortunate enough to move to a street level store just 3 buildings away, but also only 200 square feet.
Oh, wow.
And over the next 9.5 years, while I was in that little store, the world of chocolate just unfolded like it was a big bang. And everybody started coming in to sell me their new chocolate that they were doing. From the beginning when it was Schaffenberger, and then it was Taza, then it was Theo, and then it was Dagoba, and then it just kept going on, that people, a new person was coming, hey, I'm making chocolate. And I kind of welcomed each and every one of them as they came, until the point now where there's so many where I have to be a tad more selective. But we have managed to fit in most of the American craft chocolatiers that have been working for more than a few weeks, and we have chocolate from 19 different countries here, and we will continue to add. There's about 800 different chocolate bars in the store at this point, and I'm shooting for 1,000. As my customer base grows and allows me to add inventory, I certainly will keep adding more things.
There is a viewer question.
Sure.
Do you have an online shop?
I, for some reason, have been hesitant to put all this online. It's just too much. The people who do chocolate online have to be more focused. And to be honest, I'm not that focused. I don't want to limit my selection. Some things I buy only 5, 6 bars at a time. It's not like you can put that on and have everything out of stock for people.
Okay.
I will answer the phone and mail anything out for people who want anything. Call me, email me, and I'll do what I can. But putting this whole collection online is just too daunting for me.
Got it. So, like, your website is Chocolate Covered?
Chocolate Covered, COVERED, SF, like San Francisco, at gmail.com for the website. My email is the same at Gmail.
So if somebody is looking to taste all these chocolates, they can reach out to you through chocolatecoveredsf.com.
Right. Well, that just gives information about the store. If they want to contact me, they should just call me at 415-641-8123 or email me at chocolatecoveredsf@gmail.com, and we will do whatever we can for you.
So,
can we get a quick tour of the store?
yeah, let's do a quick tour of the store and see all these chocolates. Like, this is pretty fascinating.
I don't have any like organized areas where you only find milk or dark, you only find this country or that country. This store is small, and I have so much that it's like a jigsaw puzzle. When 5 new bars come in, sometimes 3 shelves have to be rearranged so that those 5 bars can come in. And things get moved around just so that things can fit and be seen. Sometimes things on lower or higher shelves don't get as much viewing as I would like, but we do the best we can to let everybody know what's here. What I try to get people to do is when they come in, if they don't know what they want, just to tell me what they're looking for, what taste guidelines, what budget guidelines, is it for themselves, is it a gift? Do they know anything about what the people want or what they want? Sometimes they do, often they don't. And we play 20 questions until we figure out, hopefully, the right item for them.
So just once again, there was a question, and then basically anybody who is joining can check out Jack's website. It's chocolatecoveredsf.com. There is an email address there, and based on what chocolates you like, you can always interact with him, and he would be happy to ship it to you wherever you are.
Yeah. Weather permitting.
Weather permitting, yes.
That's true, yeah, because it melts.
How did you, and there's another, how did you get into the chocolate business?
I was already in retail. For 15 years, I designed and manufactured clothing and sold at arts and crafts festivals around the country. I briefly did wholesaling in the early 80s and sold to Macy's and Bloomingdale's and Broadway's and Judy's and almost went out of business. But the craft shows kept us in business for another 10 years. But then that got old. As my body got older, the driving 500 miles to work got older. Right now, my commute's a half a block. I prefer that at the moment. But in the mid-90s, I felt like I had 2 clothing stores at the time, and I felt like I wanted to do something else. I didn't feel like a 3rd clothing store was necessary. So I saw this basement store, as I mentioned, for rent, and I thought, what should I'll take it. I live here. What will I do with it? And I had left the neighborhood twice that month to buy chocolate for my partner's stepmother, B.
Oh, really?
She was in her 70s then.
Oh, wow.
She's 98 now, and we still pay her dividends for inspiring us.
Oh, wow.
We send her chocolate on every occasion and some extras, and thank her all the time for giving me the idea that this neighborhood could use a chocolate store. And once again, chocolate in 1994, of course there's always been chocolate, but it isn't the way it is today. It started unfolding a few years later and is still unfolding today.
So why don't we look at some of the chocolates we've got here?
Oh, it's all over here. You have Michael Mischer from Oakland. You have La Marette from San Francisco. But you also have Zotter from Austria. Woodblock from Portland, Oregon. Blue Bandana is the son of the people who own Lake Champlain Chocolates, starting to do his craft line.
It's, okay. Once again, the web address to his store is chocolatecoveredsf.com. And Jack's store in SF is in Noe Valley on 24th and...
Between Noe and Castro.
Between Noe and Castro. And his website is chocolatecoveredsf.com.
And what are some of the best-selling ones currently that you have?
Well, the best-selling item in my store is a nut bark I buy from Santa Fe, New Mexico, which has red chili in it and pistachio nuts.
Where is it at?
It's over here. I buy it in bulk in 5-pound boxes. I get eight boxes a month at least. And I make these simple 3-ounce packages of them. But believe me, people come and buy this by the pound. They come and buy multiple packs. They call me from around the country for it. It just has this wonderful, creamy, nutty front end, and then after you swallow, it has just wonderful burn. You know, you definitely notice it, but no one gets hurt by it.
And what's your favorite chocolate?
Well, that is for 2 reasons, because I love it and because I sell 40 pounds a month of it.
Oh, wow.
It helps pay the rent. I like dark more than milk, but I eat milk, I eat white. I generally like dark between 75 and 95. We found that there's a great market for 100%, although that's not my particular taste. We carry 15 to 17 different 100% unsweetened bars made for eating.
Wow.
But I like fairly high cocoa content.
Wow.
But if it's something that has nuts and chilies and salts in it or other things I like, it can be sweeter. You know, there's times when you're eating chocolate more of a confectionery thing, and there's times when you just want pure chocolate. And if you just want pure chocolate, you generally want 70% or above.
Yes.
If you want just to have a nice confection with chocolate, it can be at any percentage. It can be milk, it can be white. It just has to be what you enjoy. We're not a health food store. We're not a pharmacy. We want you to find stuff that you can enjoy and look forward to eating.
And what is the temperature you need to maintain? Do these chocolates do they melt?
Well, chocolate certainly melts above 72 degrees. I'm fortunate that my little space here is like a cave. It's on the shady side of the street. It's got high ceilings. And because of the craft item I've invented and display with metal on the wall, it shields the heat. There's metal on the back door to shield me from the thieves that used to break in the back door.
Oh, wow.
So there's very little heat gets in this store. And on even the hot days, I just close the doors and make like it's Europe, and you keep the place from the morning coolness in. And it's usually 15 degrees cooler in here than it is outside, even on the hot days. There have been some days that make me very nervous, but I've been in this space for about 9 years since I moved, since I actually switched places with my clothing store, Oceanfront Walkers, and I haven't lost any merchandise, but I've had some days with a little bit of anxiety, but so far so good.
So generally, I think it's about 60 degrees right now here, 60 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah, it stays pretty cool here in Noe Valley on the shady side. You know, it's another, as we know in San Francisco, on the other side of the street is a different climate.
Yes.
I'm on the shady side. There were trees were out front that give a little shade. No direct sun gets on my windows, and I've been fortunate, as I said, to get by without air conditioning, even in mostly the hottest days.
Let's look at some more chocolates.
Well, here's some more fun. Down on this table, this is from Hungary. Not only have I been buying all the American craft chocolatiers, but I'm making an effort now to bring in from all over the world. So these are fabulous bars made in Hungary. Over to your right, you'll see bars from Iceland with incredible packaging. Lithuania. This company's called Naive. They took their name because when they told people they were going to do chocolate in Lithuania, people told them that they were naive.
Oh, my.
We have... of course, the Brooklyn Mafia is represented here. We've got Cacao Prieto from Red Hook. We've got Mass Brothers. We've got Fine and Raw.
Where's the Mass Brothers?
Mass Brothers is this whole group up here.
Okay. This is all Brooklyn-based?
Those three are, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
But here's another craft chocolatier from England. Pump Street Bakery is one of our newest lines. And at $15 a bar, it's selling very well. You know, the average price of chocolate, although we have $4 and $5 and $6 bars. Pretty much the average price for craft chocolate these days is between $8 and $12 a bar. We do have bars more than that and less than that, but I'd say the meat of the business is at this point has evolved to where, just like wine, I mean, I used to be able to get a $5 bottle of Cabernet. It's now a $20 bottle of Cabernet. So it's not only inflation, but it's all the extra effort and costs that go into producing really quality stuff, and not the sludge you get from someone like Hershey's or Nestle's.
How did you get in contact with all the different chocolatiers around the world? Like
It's been both. At this point, after 20 years of selling chocolate and dealing with over 100 companies and paying my bills, I have a fairly decent reputation. I have very nice Yelp reviews, which I'm thankful for. And if anyone's going to try to sell chocolate to anybody in San Francisco, I come up pretty high on the list of who they want to sell to. And I tell them, I'm not going to be your biggest customers. I have too much volume to sell, too much choice, that I'm going to sell 1 billion. I'm not buying a pallet of your stuff, but I'll sell it. And if it sells, I'll keep it here forever. And you want to be seen here because other retailers come and shop my store to get ideas, to find out who they should buy. And it's nice to be represented in a collection of this size and quality.
Yes, for sure.
But I don't make any airs like, oh, I'm going to make you rich. I would say, I'm going to include you in my collection, and that's about all I can say.
Woo, you know? What's that? Ladybugs?
These are... wonderful, whimsical, delicious chocolates from a company in Philadelphia, John and Kira. The bees are wonderful salted caramels, and under each bee is a fact about bees. I mean, cute packaging is nice, and very pretty packaging is essential at this point with so much to choose from that it's helpful to look good. But I won't buy you if I don't think you taste good, but you will sell much better if you look good, if you can attract the eyes yourself without me having to point it out to people.
So the price range of the chocolates which you have is anywhere from $4 or $5
anywhere from a few dollars to the most expensive bar is probably, considering weight and everything, is this bar from Italy. This Amade Porcelana Bar, which is pretty well known around the world, is $21 for only 50 grams. And that is mainly because of the rarity and quality of the Porcelana bean, which is a strain of the Carrillo bean. Most of it's grown in Venezuela, but not all of it.
Wow.
You sometimes see Carrillo and Porcelanas from other places. But we have several bars with that bean, and they're all expensive.
What are these?
These are more of the things that I make. I thought when I opened my store 20 years ago, I had come out of the arts and crafts show world. So I knew I had to have some gift items along with the chocolate. So in the beginning, I bought from my other friends, I bought inlaid wood boxes and hand-blown goblets and hand-thrown pots and mohair dolls, hand-jointed. But I was in 200 square feet and really couldn't be the craft store of my dreams. So then at some point I focused on boxes. And then at some point I started making simple decorative boxes myself. And then at some point, besides doing the pretty papers that I started doing, I started this photo process where I print what's called a cyanotype, cyanotype. It's a blue and white photographic process, dates back to 1842. So combining the cutting, gluing, and coating of simple decorative tin making with the photographic process, I now sell 5,000 decorative boxes with images of San Francisco streets, schools, parks, and businesses. plus several hundred random cultural images, plus I do them custom from any art or photo people bring in. I charge a simple setup fee of $10 only. An order of one piece is all that's necessary, and you can have a custom-made box with an image that's meaningful to whoever you're giving it to, and then hopefully we'll sell them to you empty. But of course, if you want to fill it with chocolate, you couldn't be in a better place.
Can I design my own box?
That's what you can do. You can bring me the photo or art. It doesn't have to be.
Sorry,
That's what the $10 extra is for me to set up whatever image you bring in to make a negative. I work backwards to a negative and then forwards to the print on watercolor paper, and that's glued down to the top of the box and then coated with floor wax.
Oh wow!
When you came in today, I was in the middle of gluing down ones I printed about 35 images last night at my home, and now I'm gluing them, and during the course of the day they'll be coated. By the end of the day they'll be done.
Oh, I see. Great. So we can buy the box and then customize it with our own photos.
So, well, you could buy what I have on the wall, or you could bring me your own pictures and I'll make
Just
you
look
whatever
at
you
this.
want.
This is quite fabulous, everybody. The boxes on the wall.
You're looking at two size boxes that cover over 1,600 of San Francisco's 2,500 streets.
Wow.
The little box we sell for $18 and is the equivalent of a standard Altoid size box.
Oh, wow.
The larger box is approximately 3 by 6 and will fit pens, will fit candy, of course, will fit jewelry, keys, coins. But people buy these because the image is meaningful, and then the function follows. You know, we'll figure out what to do with it. There's nothing more basic than a box.
So after you finish the chocolate in the box, you can always use it for
anything. You can refill it with chocolate, or you can use it for any purpose. But you mainly buy it because the image gives you pleasure.
Exactly.
It's where you live or once lived. It's a school you went to, your favorite coffee shop, bar, bookstore, taqueria.
Exactly.
Or you bring me your grandparents, your dogs. I often say I see dead people, because a lot of people bring me their
there's
ancestors.
a Hello Kitty there.
Well, I also was selling novelty lunchboxes that I buy for many years. They're less important to me now. At one point, lunchboxes were very popular, and I had the store filled with them.
Oh, God.
But I only have about 20% of what I used to have because my own boxes and the chocolate are taking over all the space.
What are these chocolates?
That's from New York, from a great chocolatier, Joan, a chocolate moderne. She's an ex-banker turned chocolate maker. We have ex-lawyer, Sean Ashkenazi, turned chocolate maker. We have ex-scientist, Denise Castronovo, turned chocolate maker.
Wow.
There's a slew of ex-tech people who do chocolate, everyone from Cho to Dandelion. We have everybody is choosing chocolate as a second or third career right now, and it's funny. I ask everybody, I go, and what did you do before this? And I was in marketing, I was in this, I was in that. But there's a lot of young people who it's their first career, people in their 20s and early 30s. But anybody, there's a lot of people in it who are older, and they all seem to have done something they weren't exactly excited about. And they're trying to make it happen in the world of chocolate right now.
And you haven't thought of making your own line?
I occasionally think of doing some simple things, but there's no reason for me to do that. There's no reason for me to make the mess. Anything I want, I can have any of the wonderful chocolatiers that I deal with do, and do better than I probably could. I'm happy to be the middleman between the people making it and the people looking for it. That's my job, is to provide the best collection that I can. And I've been known when customers want a certain thing that I don't normally carry, but I already deal with the company, I'll bring it in for them if I can. I'm in retail. This is a service industry. I'm trying to do whatever I can to get and maintain the customers.
Do you also sell cooking high chocolate?
We sell some baking chocolate. One of my good chocolatiers, Michael Mischer, allows me to buy at his costs what he uses to make his fine bars, some nice Swiss chocolate.
Oh, nice.
And I buy that, and I sell that for people who come in who want to do some baking. We have a white, a milk, and 2 different darks. And that's an area that at some point I'd like to expand quite a bit and have much more choice. But we found that at the moment that's sufficient. So a lot of people buy it just to have, they come in, the button form, and we weigh them out a pound or whatever they need. And a lot of people buy it these days just to have the buttons are actually, even though it's $20 a pound, it's less expensive than a lot of bars for that quality. A lot of people buy it just to have in the house and just eat a few buttons at a time.
And if we're new to the chocolate world and we're going to a store, what should we look for in terms of how do we know what the quality of the chocolate is, or is it based on the ingredients, or is it based on the?
Well, I don't know that you can tell anything by looking at a bar what the quality is. You have to trust the people who are selling it to you, or you have to do some research, and then you just have to taste it. And if, there's things.
Are there chocolate tasting events?
I hold private tastings here for parties of 12 to 25 in the evenings as the store closes. It's $25 a person. I go through 15 organized tastes of 5 about. Turn people on to the concept of dark milk chocolate. Show people the American craft dark chocolate. The most popular inclusions over the last decade have been things with salt and things with spice. And then there's the crazy stuff, the novelty stuff. We have the blue cheese bar, we have the Parmesan cheese bar, we have the porcini mushroom bar, we have all the meat bars, and people are throwing everything into chocolate and seeing what works. And so we'll taste a few of those, and then once we get through those 15 tastes, if people want to try a few more things, we've been known to open up a few more requests.
Beautiful.
At some point, I've been threatening for several years, I will just announce that we're going to taste these certain things and sign up individual people, but I, once again, have not been able to get that together.
Wow. Wow. This is awesome. This is like, the world of chocolate is like... one question. What chocolate, very basic question. I love wine. What chocolate goes very well with wine in your experience?
Once again, I don't delve into it too scientifically. I go any good red wine, any good dark chocolate.
Okay.
But once again, that chili bark that I mentioned earlier, a nice little burn, then a little red wine, that's a wonderful thing.
Okay.
Keep that in mind. And
Dark
you like chili too, right?
Yeah, I like chili.
Well,
I like dark.
Let's have some.
Oh, okay. Let's have some. Yes, for sure.
This is something we try to inoculate almost everybody who comes into the store with. It's a people often call it the crack. I used to try to dissuade those terms, but I've given up because people are quite. This is how I buy it. I get 8 5-pound boxes of this every month.
Look at that chocolate.
There you go.
Oh my God.
It's chock full of pistachios and maybe a little bit of salt.
Isn't that great?
And you don't taste the spice right away. I like any opportunity to open this up and have a piece myself. You should enjoy a creamy, nutty experience at first. Maybe
some chocolate bliss.
No, this is really rich.
Oh wow.
And then at some point the chili, some people quicker than others, at some point it opens up on the back of the throat. And it's just a nice burn.
Wow. I can imagine.
Oh yeah, I just felt the chili.
I can imagine it, tasting it with wine.
Yeah. So like I say, I don't like everything I buy for the store. I buy things. I grew up in New York, and I didn't have a great diet. I mean, I don't eat fruits, really. I don't eat berries. So things with cherries and raspberries and blueberries, they're lost on me. But I know they're not lost on other people.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And so many of the other things, the teas, the Earl Greys, the Lapsang Souchong, there's so many inclusions in chocolate that personally I can live without. But this idea behind the store is not just my taste. It's to bring in as much of a selection of chocolate that I can economically and physically fit in here.
Just look at this store. It's got chocolate all over from how many countries in the world?
At the moment, I believe 19 countries, and I just got samples from someone in Scotland. It was sent to me by one of my scouts in New York. I'd like to add, I once had something from Scotland, I don't now, but I'd like to add them, a company called, I think it was Treehouse. And right now chocolate is happening all over the world. I was just emailing this morning, I got an email from my resource for camel milk chocolate from Dubai.
Oh, wow.
Saying that after the summer he'll have some new bars.
Wow.
So
this has been great. Do you have any other questions?
I think just to close, maybe you can, is there a resource or a book that you recommend to learn more about chocolates? Or is it...
How do you learn about chocolate?
Like I say, 20 years of just, you've been in business, you absorb stuff. A nice place to learn here in the city is to take, Dandelion does a Chocolate 101 and 201 classes.
So this is the Dandelion chocolate?
Dandelion chocolate on Valencia Street,
okay.
whose chocolate I sell right over here. And I'm very happy to support another young people. They're on these 4 bars over here. Those are goldish ones there.
Oh, these ones.
Yeah, and they will take you and have a tasting evening where you can taste all the ingredients that go into, not always their chocolate. They just do a 2-ingredient, but you can taste cocoa butter and soy lecithin and organic sugar, and then you can see the machines and you can get an idea of the whole experience of making chocolate. And they're very nice people. But yeah, just come in here and I'll babble as long as until your eyes
yes.
gloss over. Tell you
Anything
whatever
else?
you need.
Anything else?
No, I think just what is the address of this?
We're at 4069 24th Street between Noe and Castro, a little closer to Castro. We're on the south side of the street in the shade.
This is in San Francisco, and your website?
Chocolate Covered, COVEREDSF at .com is the web page, and you'll get information. If you like us on Facebook, when we get new stuff in, my employees take a picture of it and post it and say something silly about it usually. We'll keep you posted about new stuff. You can scroll through all the things we posted. Some things are no longer here, but much of it is. And we deputize you all as scouts. If you think there's anything great that I don't have, I'm happy to hear about anything. I'm happy for any chocolatiers out there to bring me samples. I don't buy everything anymore like I used to, but if it fits, if there's a spot, if it's different than what I have here, if it's better than something I have here, if it's competitive with what I already have here already, I'm going to try to add you to the collection.
Thanks, Jack. This has been
Yeah,
splendid.
thank you so much.
Beautiful.
My pleasure. My pleasure, totally.